Jim, we need to honor the current pledge, please. Please stand.
Most kind of gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for the privilege to be here this evening. Thank you for these that have assembled to do the business of your city. Be with those who are not able to be with us for whatever reason. Be with the sick and afflicted, the bereaved. Be especially with those who do not know you as Lord and Savior. May all we say and do be for your glory and for the benefit of your city. In Jesus' name, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Joy, call the roll, please.
Mr. Bollinger.
Here.
Mr. Freeman.
Here.
Ms. Graham. Here. Mr. Hatmaker.
Here.
Mayor Samuel.
Here. Item number 4, approval of the minutes from your December 2013 meeting. What's the pleasure of council?
Move we approve.
Second.
Have a second, call the roll.
Mr. Bollinger.
Yes.
Mr. Freeman.
Yes.
Ms. Graham.
Yes.
Mr. Hatmaker.
Yes. Motion carries. Item number 5, reports from your boards, committees, and your department heads. What's your pleasure?
Move we accept.
Have a motion by Bob, have a second.
Yes.
Ms. City Williams, call the roll.
Mr. Bollinger.
Yes.
Mr. Freeman.
Yes.
Ms. Graham.
Yes.
Mr. Hatmaker.
Yes. Motion carries. Any comments from the citizens? Noted being none. Any announcements? I have one. Yesterday, the 6th of January, I done a proclamation for Miss Cora Douglas. She turned 100 years old, so in honor of her 100-year birthday, on behalf of myself and council, we done a proclamation. All right. Under administrative, appropriate $2,000 for exhaust fans at the rec center and library restrooms.
Make a motion we approve the 2,000 for the recreation library restrooms.
I have a motion by Hansel, have a second.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Bollinger.
Yes.
Mr. Freeman.
Yes.
Ms. Graham.
Yes.
Mr. Hatmaker.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 2, expense on city credit card. What's the pleasure of council?
Mayor, I've been looking at the, we had an opportunity to look at that the other day. If you go back and see, I even saw, Terry, correct me if I'm wrong, we take Pew and Company out to eat every once in a while with that credit card.
If they come to an audit, usually we take them one time. We didn't this year, but I think we did last year.
You know, I'm gonna give everybody, I'd like to table this for 1 month, give everybody a chance that it wasn't sanctioned by the city of LaFollette to go ahead and pay on the credit card what they owe. No embarrassment or anything, just go and pay. It wasn't sanctioned by this board and this council. Go ahead and pay for that. And then we don't, next month, I'll make a motion to take it. I guess.
Okay.
I don't know any other way to do it.
I have a question. I feel like I'm behind here where I've been gone, but do those folks know that if they, if Joy's charged something, is she aware that she's charged $57 for Krispy Kreme donuts, for example? I mean, when the people we're talking about, do they know that they've got charges?
They are.
Okay.
Listen, I'm not going to point at one thing or the other. I bring up there with Pew and Company, companies that take me out to eat. I mean, when we go out to eat, if I'm paying them $100,000, they usually buy my supper. Okay, so not we buy them. But I mean, it's anything. If it's not sanctioned by this city, we shouldn't. Some of these things are not. And I don't know how you get it back, Reed. How do you get it back?
The first thing you need to do, and I'm like Stephanie, play catch up because I really don't know I wasn't able to attend the workshop. But the first thing you need to do is you need to have a policy. To my knowledge, I don't think there's a policy on the use of the credit card. And so the problem you got now is there's no real policy. Is something right or wrong? I don't know. So the first thing I would look at would be establishing a detailed policy as to how that credit card is going to be used and how it's authorized, sanctioned, and the penalties or ramifications of not using it correctly. And I think that's step one.
Well, I agree with you.
Mr. Troutman, but at the same time, you know, if you've got charges on the city credit card that really doesn't have anything to do with the city.
And I don't know exactly what you're talking about, so and you're probably right. I'm saying, but that aside, I think going forward, I'm talking about going forward, just we need a standard policy.
So we need to collect the debt and then establish a
But
policy.
I don't know exactly what we're
Well, what I'm saying, if our council is not invited to a particular thing, if I go off on the road and find out that, hey, there may be, I shouldn't say this, but I heard one man come in, a methadone house is coming in and is going to employ 40 people, 50 people or something like that, and I go off and I charge, spend the night and charge it to the city and get a per diem and all that stuff, you know, and never mention it to you guys, then I should pay for it.
Right.
Okay, and when I saw I want to make sure that the press understands this too, that when I saw the credit card, there wasn't much there. I didn't see a whole lot. It was just a little bit, just little bits here and there. But we need to clean this up because of a bad image, and we need to clean this up. And I could go along with what Reed said or anything, but it'd be the easiest thing to do is everybody who can use that credit card, take a look at that, who's used that credit card, take a look at that, and if they owe a little bit of money back, we'll take care of it. Give it to Terry, he shows us what's paid and what's not, and we'll take care of it next month if we have to.
Okay, Bob, so you're putting that in a motion to table it
Just to table it,
for a month?
give everybody an opportunity to look at it, and if they think they owe the money, the city the money back, there's an opportunity to do that.
Okay.
And just on what we was given, just on those, that for the last 2 years, was it the last 2 years? And so, you know, and as I said, for the press's sake, there wasn't a whole lot of money. We're not talking about a whole lot of money on here. So, but I think we ought to stand up, and if it's not there, we're gonna pay it ourselves and go on and then set some policy. That would be the easiest thing to do. Get everybody out of a mess. We don't have to call them, nothing.
Well, we don't want something small to turn into something big.
Absolutely.
That's fine.
Now, let me explain.
Turn down.
You got them off,
Yeah,
Mike?
no, turn down the radio.
Okay, let me explain something that happened to us in Nashville. We got down there and we took all the legislators out to lunch. And the county mayor was with us and several other people. I think maybe the part of the power board was with us. And Clifford thought that he had it covered with a credit card, and he hadn't energized the credit card. So we told him we'd take care of the bill, and when it was all done and said, we owed him $700. Just happened I had $500 on me, and we come up with enough money to pay the bill to keep from being embarrassed about it. So if credit card's used correctly, there's no problem with it. And I think, and to my understanding, we've only got 2 out, and that's the Terry and administrator, isn't he? Is that the only 2 we got out?
That's correct. I didn't even want one. They just said get one because.
Yeah. Well, use all the time. What was it? There was something else happened here that we had to use somebody's. You ordered something and they wouldn't take it without a credit card number for the city. They wouldn't take it, and you used it to get whatever we need. I don't remember now what it was, but can we? Are we saying we don't trust these 2 people that we've got with credit cards? We don't trust them? Is that what you're saying? The reason that this has been brought up?
I'm not saying that, Mr. Taylor, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the credit card is being abused in the past, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I remember one time you and I went to a meeting in Nashville, and we had to scrape up change to get us back. You remember that?
Yeah.
It's still like that back.
That's because we didn't have a credit card.
We had no money either.
No. And if we'd had a credit card, we'd have money.
Yeah.
So if a credit card is used right, then there's no problems with it that I see. But I've not looked at the internal part of it. I guess Bob has, he said there was just a little bit that's been, where it's been abused, so.
There's some that's been abused, and so I want all the council members to look at it very carefully, all the department heads look at it very carefully, including the city administrator, and just take a look at that and see what needs to be paid back. If you feel like you don't owe it back.
Yeah, I agree.
Then next month, I will make a motion, okay?
Yeah.
I have a motion
To
to table it for a month. Do I have a second?
Yes.
I have a second, Steve. I call roll.
Mr. Bollinger?
Yes.
Mr. Fanning?
Yes.
Ms. Graham?
Yes.
Mr. Hatmaker?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 3 is the Friday working schedule. We talked about the workshop. Does anyone want to comment?
Let me make a comment on this. I don't know. We keep switching it back and forth, back and forth. Seems like it, for some reason or other, we can't get the thing together. Stephanie's not being here on the last meeting. I'd like to table this thing till next month. Look at it with her, and then we'll make a decision then.
That's your motion to table it for a month, Answer?
I'd appreciate that if y'all would, because I feel like everything on here tonight, I'm behind.
Okay.
It's my fault.
Have a motion, second, Steve, right? Steve?
Oh, I'll second it, yes.
Okay, call roll, please.
Mr. Bollinger?
Yes.
Mr. Fanning?
Yes.
Ms. Graham?
Yes.
Mr. Hatmaker?
Yes.
Motion carries. Under Police Department, hiring Jordan Reed from a part-time to a full-time officer effective the 1st, 11/14. Starting salary is $26,520. What's your pleasure, council?
Move to approve, Mayor.
Second.
Have a motion, second, call roll.
Mr. Bollinger?
Yes.
Mr. Fanning?
Yes.
Ms. Graham?
Yes.
Mr. Hatmaker?
Yes.
Motion carries. Under Public Works, item number 1, demolish dilapidated 2 houses. We talked about in the workshop.
Got a question. Jim, how did these 2 houses come up? I know the one up here was burnt, and I went up there and looked at that lot the other day, and we talked about burying all that on that lot. The way that I'm looking at it, I don't see how you're gonna bury all of it on the lot.
The lot goes all the way, if you remember, back to that chain link fence. And I had 2 people look at it. Dig a hole on the back of the lot, put it in it, cover it up, then fill up the hole that leaves where the house is. The question came up about the steps that go from the lot down to the street. I told them to not count that. Whoever winds up with a lot, they want those steps. You know, so the steps down the street are not included. But they both thought that they could get deep enough in the back, put the house in it, have enough dirt coming out, cover it up, and then fill up the crawl space under the house, or whatever's left, the hole, where they take the house down. They feel like they can do that.
Yeah. Now, the other house over here, it's just sitting there, grown up. You can't find it unless you know that it's there.
Right.
How did that house come into play, and who owns it?
The one on Hill Street,
Yes.
a lady called me and asked for the city to tear it down, asked if they would. That they would like to, because it's a hazard to the community, children in the community especially. Like you said, it's very secluded, back away from the street. And they would like to have it torn down. And there's a smokehouse and outbuilding, and she said there was a cistern there that should in the process be filled up. So they requested that we tear it down.
Does she own the property?
She and her sister.
Read.
Wait a minute, refresh my memory on that, Stan. Is it her mother? I think the house, I think the house may still be in.
It's an aunt to her mother.
Okay.
Can I speak on this just a second?
Sure, yeah, go ahead, explain me out.
Jim is supposed to
You
give us some
actually-
figures too, wasn't you, Jim?
Pardon?
You're supposed to give us some prices too, wasn't you, tonight? Turn down.
The city actually has 4 dilapidated houses within the city. One of them is on North Fifth Street, the one that you're talking about. The other one is on 408 West Walden Street above the drugstore. Those 2 properties, the owners are deceased. And I spoke with the city attorney this week on these 2 houses, and we talked about probating these 2 houses. Is that correct? And that's something that the council would have to act on with them being no owners to these properties. The other one is the old Wallingsford house on West First Street, above Hansford's house. We have made several attempts to notify Miss Wallingsford by certified notice. The city attorney's tried to notify her. So next week, I'm going to go down to Soddy Daisy and cite her into court. That's the only choice that you have.
That's the Miller,
Yeah.
the
Yes.
Miller property.
The other one is the house that Jim's talking about. And before you act on that one, I think we need to do a little bit more research because the county line runs through there somewhere and this house may be in the county.
Maybe what?
May be in the county. It may not even be inside the city limits.
Do you
I'm going
have,
to talk to the property assessor to verify if it is in the actual city. Because part of the property is, and I don't think the other part is.
yeah, do you have the price quotes on getting?
Yeah, the one on, West Fur, I told them it was amazing. The other 3 houses, one on Fifth, West Walden, and Hill, one person bid $7,200 on those 3. The other person bid $9,670. On the house up on Fur, because we weren't sure how that it stood in court or whatever. One bid was $2,800, the other was $3,090. Together, the 4 houses, if we do all 4 of them, one person was $10,000. The other person on all 4 of them was $12,760. Well, this gives you an idea how much money you're talking about.
Whose expense are you gonna do this at?
Pardon?
Whose expense are you gonna do this on?
That's up to you all. If you want to charge it back to the property owners, that's to be, we had talked a little bit about whatever the charge is on that particular house, attach it to the tax, Reed, you correct me if I'm wrong, attach it to the taxes, then the next time the taxes come due, that would have to be paid with the taxes, the charge, for that particular house. Or if they want to, there's been some discussion, they just give the city the lot. And then we tear it down at our expense, but we would own the property. So, depending on how y'all want to go on it. But this is just the prices that the 2 different contractors gave me.
So you're planning on contracting it out?
We don't have the equipment to tear them down safely.
Are you planning on contracting them out?
Well, yeah, but that's where I'm going. We can't rent a track hole.
Are you planning on contracting them out?
Yes.
That's it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna do any of them in-house ourselves?
No, because, and the 2 reasons. We don't have the equipment now. To rent a track hole like we did on the others, there were so many of them, we could spread the cost out and justify it. No more than this, we can't justify renting a track hole. We come out ahead to contract it than we would to rent a track hole and do it ourselves.
Well, I understand that because you broke the glasses out of the other one and everything else. We ended up putting new glass and everything else back into the track hole. We done more damage to the track hole because must not have known what was doing or something, I don't know.
We broke the glass, but that.
We was experimenting with it, I guess, maybe,
Well,
but, whatever.
We broke the glass and broke a couple of hoses, normal wear and tear. But to my knowledge, that's all the extra expenses we incurred.
Well,
So you don't have the money in your budget to do it?
I personally think that it should be billed back to the property owners. And if it creates a hardship on someone, you know, it can be spread out over 2 years instead of the next year.
I don't know if they'll, I mean, you know, this, part of this taxes, would be, all of it would be coming to the city, would just be on city taxes.
If you go through the process, you can take them to city court to establish the violation, you know, that's not inhabitable. And the court would give them time to do it themselves.
Well, what I'm hearing here, they're requesting, is that correct? They're pretty much requesting us to tear it down.
This one lady on Hill Street called me and requested.
I think, and I think you're right. They could either, if they want to pay for it, they can pay us for that cost, or deed us the property. I mean, that's up to us how you want to deal with it. But I think we have to make demand for the payment of it, obviously.
Rita, I'm not versed on probate court, the process, because two of those landowners are deceased. When we go through the process, does that land become ours because of the?
It wouldn't become ours because we're not heirs to the estate, but we're a potential creditor to that estate because they're in violation of city code and they're going to be owing city funds. You have the right as a potential creditor of the estate to probate. You could force the probate. So if we wanted to, we could probate this estate. We have to put notice published as to all the heirs. We have to go to court to get approval to go onto that property and fix the problem. So that was a little bit different since we don't have a live owner of the property. We got to go to court to get approval to go on it. Then we can add the cost back to the tax rolls.
It's almost like putting a lien against the property.
Basically.
So if the heir sells it, then
we would be a creditor of that estate.
okay.
We'd get our money back. We're not gonna lose it anyway.
Well, probably the worst case scenario would be, it would be added back to the tax rolls and we would take it back during the tax sale. And we'd become the owner of that. Or sell it in tax sale. One way or the other, or own it ourselves.
Stan F1 has a phone call, that's the Kemp House.
Yes.
That thing is, they've been on us.
They've been on that, yes, they have. They have. And,
That's
I
the
mean, we
problem.
need to act on that thing, especially before spring comes up, because I can understand the people that live around there. I mean, it is it's a mess. And like Reed said, whether we put it through probate or what, we're gonna have to act on. With the two deceased, there's no heirs to my knowledge to these properties. And we're gonna have to act on them because one of them being centrally located downtown and the other one's well directly right behind downtown. I mean, those two we're gonna have to act on pretty quick. This Wallingford, like I said, I'm gonna go down and talk to them and cite them into courts on the other option that we have. Now, the one that's on East Hill Street, I don't think that we should act on till we have definite proof that that thing is inside the city.
Okay.
So you and Reed's gonna be working on the probate?
You'll have to authorize it. You need to authorize, you want me to file the probate on both of those estates, you need to authorize it. So you just need to authorize me to file something to protect our interest in it.
Now, is this beyond your regular pay, or is it gonna be
I'll bill you.
extra?
I'll bill you personally.
You ask.
I tell you what we need to do.
Bill it to the credit.
Stan, how come we don't contact, when you find a violation like this, how come you don't contact the property owner? Say, now look, I'm saying maybe you have, I'm just saying, okay? How come we don't contact them, say, now look, you've got a violation here. We're going to have to do something. So whatever you make us do, we're going to have to do it. We're going to charge you for it. But now, if you will go ahead and authorize us to either take it down, or you go ahead and get somebody to take it down, try to work with the property owner, and see if it may limit us a lot of costs somewhere down the road.
That's the procedure we have, Mr. Hatmaker.
It's been done many
That's
times.
the procedure we follow, but when you come up against one that you have the resident that is deceased, you can't contact them. You can go to the graveyard.
Well, then you got to do what you got to do. You know, I understand
How many
that.
letters you sent to Ms. Wallingford? I sent to you, how many times you communicated with them? Bunch.
With who?
Ms. Wallingford, a bunch.
At least 20 times.
Exactly. And we tried everything we can do, and they just will not.
Well, you just got to go to court.
But I agree with you, yeah.
We'll pay you, Reed. Go ahead.
You take credit cards, don't you, Rita?
Not for phone calls, though. It's reading your gray head working on that.
Jim, your loan did, they break his house down separate. They didn't, it was those 4 houses for $10,000.
3 and 1,
Oh, okay.
and 3 and 1. Because we were looking at 3 pretty definite and 1 maybe,
Okay.
so that's the way they priced them.
So the Wallingsford house
It's
is
maybe.
$3,090.
The one on Fur.
Fur.
Yeah,
Okay, that would be a total of cleaning that, taking that house down and cleaning the lot, correct?
taking the house down. Well, take the house down and bury it in seed straw, what they disturb. Now, that's a big lot.
Right.
But all I was asked to pursue was what it cost to tear the house down, cover it,
Okay,
and dress it up.
okay.
Now, Stan, you're pretty sure that the possibility that that other house over there, part of it could be on the county or out in the county?
I'm thinking so. I'm thinking, Gary, I think the fire department had an issue over there at one time. Is that not correct, Gary?
I think so, that's what I can remember. I'm not sure though.
Let's table that one until next month, and I'll have you a definite answer on it.
Well, all we need to do is make a motion to allow Reed to go ahead and.
I second that motion.
Motion second, call the roll, please.
Mr. Bollinger?
Yes.
Mr. Fainan?
Yes.
Ms. Graham? Yes. Mr. Hatmaker?
Yes.
Motion carries. Under Fire Department, approve advertising for bids for extraction tool. Gary, you want to comment on that a little bit, or?
Not much more what I did the other day. We just want to write bids for it, and I don't want to write the bids unless y'all approve to do it. We have the money to do
You have the
it.
money?
Yes.
I make a motion to approve advertisement for bid.
Have a motion by Bonnie, second by Joe, call the roll, please.
Mr. Bollinger?
Yes.
Mr. Fainan?
Yes.
Ms. Graham?
Yes.
Mr. Hatmaker?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 2, approve change to standard operating procedures to include the new job duties.
Again, that's just some housekeeping stuff we need to do.
Can you write them up and let us approve them after we look at them?
Yes, I'll write them up. And you can make changes.
Just change that to next week, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Have that
Okay. That'd be
written
fine.
up for us, so we can approve it.
That'd be fine.
Yeah. Okay, Bob, you table that to next month. Motion made.
He's gonna write it up.
Okay, to have a second?
Second.
And motion by Bob, second by Hanson, call the roll, please.
Mr. Bollinger?
Yes.
Mr. Fainan?
Yes.
Ms. Graham?
Yes.
Mr. Hatmaker?
Yes.
Motion carries. Under ordinance and resolutions, item number 1, resolutions 2014-01, resolutions for 2013-014 budget.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2014-01.
Motion by Bob, have a second.
Yes.
Second. Go ahead. Second. It's okay.
Stephanie,
Stephanie.
call the roll, please.
Mr. Bollinger?
Yes.
Mr. Fainan?
Yes.
Ms. Graham?
Yes.
Mr. Hatmaker?
Yes.
Motion carries. Being no other business, this meeting is adjourned.
Call to order the beer board. Call the roll, please.
Chairman Bollinger? Mr. Fainan?
Here.
Ms. Graham?
Here.
Mr. Hatmaker?
Yes.
Mayor Stanfield?
Here.
We do have an application for Camel Tobacco Beer, 1200 Jacksboro Pike. Mr. Patel, Chief.
Yes, sir. We checked Mr. Patel, everything's fine on his application. Everything's good. They already have beer, and it's just, it's changing owners. They already have beer conditions. Everything's good.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a motion, second. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Fainan?
Yes.
Ms. Graham?
Yes.
Mr. Hatmaker?
Yes.
Mayor Stanfield?
Yes.
Motion carried. Being on further business.
Motion adjourned.
Madam Chairman.